Welcome back to my YouTube channel Coins History Coins VC. Today we have 4 amazing coins to explore, each with its own history, design, and value. Let's dive into the world of rare and interesting coins and discover what makes them special. Stay tuned till the end. Top 1. The 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin is part of Canada's long-running small cent series and represents one of the final decades before the denomination was eventually discontinued in 2012. This coin was issued under the reign of Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse front of the coin along with the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The effigy used on the 1998 coin was designed by Canadian artist Dora de Pettery Hunt, whose portrait of the Queen was introduced in 1990 and reflects a more mature and realistic depiction compared to earlier versions. Around the portrait, the lettering is clean and slightly raised, with small beads forming a circular border near the rim, a common feature in Canadian coinage that enhances both durability and aesthetic balance. On the reverse back of the coin, the design features the iconic maple leaf twig, created by G. E. Kruger Gray. This design has been a symbol of Canadian identity for decades, representing nature, unity, and national pride. The maple leaves are finely detailed, showing the veins and natural curvature, with the inscription Canada above and the date 1998 below. The denomination, 1 cent, is placed prominently in the center. The simplicity of the design is intentional, reflecting Canada's connection to nature and its minimalist artistic tradition in coinage. The maple leaf itself is one of the most recognized national symbols of Canada, also featured on the country's flag. In terms of composition, the 1998 Canadian penny is made primarily of zinc, about 98.4%, with a thin copper plating, about 1.6%. This composition was introduced to reduce production costs while maintaining the traditional copper appearance. The coin weighs approximately 2.25 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a smooth, plain edge. Earlier Canadian pennies were made of bronze, but by the late 20th century, rising metal costs led to this transition to zinc-based coins. Despite the change in materials, the coin still retains the classic reddish-brown color that people associate with traditional pennies. The coin was produced by the Royal Canadian Mint, one of the most advanced minting institutions in the world, known for its innovation and high-quality coin production. The 1998 issue had a very large mintage, with hundreds of millions of coins struck for circulation, making it quite common today. Because of this high mintage, the coin generally has low monetary value in the collector market, especially in circulated condition. Most examples are worth only their face value or slightly above, although uncirculated or mint condition coins may carry a small premium for collectors. From a historical perspective, the 1998 penny reflects a period when cash transactions were still dominant in everyday life, and small denominations like the 1-cent coin played an important role in pricing and commerce. However, over time, inflation reduced the purchasing power of the cent and production costs exceeded its face value. This eventually led to the discontinuation of the Canadian penny in 2012, making coins like the 1998 issue part of the final chapter in Canada's 1-cent coin history. Today, these coins are still legal tender for transactions, but they are no longer minted or widely used in daily purchases. For collectors and history enthusiasts, the 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin offers a glimpse into late 20th century Canadian currency design, economic conditions, and national symbolism. While it may not be rare or highly valuable, it holds educational and nostalgic significance. Many collectors keep such coins as part of date collections or as examples of different Queen Elizabeth II portraits used over the years. In circulated condition, you may notice where on the Queen's hair or the maple leaves, which is normal given the coin's age and usage. Overall, the 1998 Canadian penny stands as a simple yet meaningful piece of Canada's numismatic heritage, combining artistry, history, and everyday utility into a small but enduring object. Next, top 2. The 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin is one of the later issues in Canada's historic small cent series, produced just a few years before the denomination was officially discontinued in 2012. This coin carries both historical and symbolic importance, reflecting Canada's economic conditions and national identity in the early 21st century. On the obverse front, The coin features the portrait of Elizabeth II along with the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, which means Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The effigy used on the 2003 coin was designed by Dora de Hunt, whose depiction of the Queen had been in use since 1990. This portrait shows a mature queen without a crown, reflecting a modern and dignified image. The fine details of her hair, facial features, and the surrounding beaded border demonstrate the precision and craftsmanship of Canadian minting. On the reverse back, the coin displays the classic maple leaf twig design created by G. E. Kruger Gray. This design has been a defining feature of Canadian 1-cent coins for decades and symbolizes the natural beauty and identity of Canada. The design includes 2 maple leaves attached to a small twig, with detailed veins and a naturalistic appearance. Above the design is the word Canada, while the year 2003 appears below. The denomination 1 cent is prominently placed in the center. The simplicity and elegance of this design reflect Canada's long-standing artistic tradition in coinage, focusing on national symbols rather than overly complex imagery. In terms of composition, the 2003 Canadian penny is made primarily of zinc, approximately 98.4%, with a thin copper plating, about 1.6%. This composition was adopted to reduce production costs, while preserving the traditional copper color that people associate with pennies. The coin weighs about 2.25 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a smooth edge. By this time, pure copper coins were no longer economically viable, and the shift to zinc-based coins had become standard practice. Despite this, the coin maintains a similar look and feel to earlier bronze issues, ensuring continuity in appearance for everyday users. The coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, a globally respected institution known for its advanced minting technology and high-quality coin production. The 2003 issue had a very large mintage, with hundreds of millions of coins produced for circulation. Because of this high production number, the coin is very common today and generally holds little value above its face value unless it is in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. Collectors may still seek out high-grade examples or include the coin as part of a complete date set of Canadian pennies. From a historical and economic perspective, the 2003 penny reflects a time when small denomination coins were becoming less practical due to inflation. The purchasing power of 1 cent had significantly declined, and the cost of producing the coin was approaching or exceeding its face value. These economic realities eventually led to the decision to discontinue the penny in 2012. Coins like the 2003 issue represent the final years of everyday use for the Canadian cent and are part of the closing chapter of this long-running denomination. For collectors, the 2003 Canadian 1 cent coin holds modest but meaningful significance. While it is not rare, it represents continuity in Canadian coin design and the enduring presence of Elizabeth II on the nation's currency. It also reflects technological and material changes in minting, as well as broader economic trends. Many people keep such coins for nostalgic reasons, remembering a time when pennies were still commonly used in daily transactions. In circulated condition, the coin may show signs of wear, such as smoothing of the maple leaves or the Queen's portrait, while uncirculated examples retain their original luster and sharp details. Overall, the 2003 Canadian 1 cent coin is a simple yet historically rich piece of currency. It combines national symbolism, royal imagery, and modern minting practices into a small coin that played a significant role in everyday life. Even though its monetary value is minimal today, its historical and collectible value continues to make it an interesting and worthwhile addition to any coin collection, especially for those interested in Canadian numismatics and the legacy of the penny next top 3. The 2009 Canadian 1 cent coin is part of the final era of Canada's historic penny series, issued just a few years before the denomination was officially withdrawn from circulation in 2012. This coin reflects both tradition and transition, capturing the last phase of a coin that had been a part of Canadian life for more than a century. On the obverse front, the coin features the portrait of Elizabeth II, along with the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The portrait used on the 2009 penny was designed by Dora de Hunt and had been in use since 1990. It shows a mature and dignified queen without a crown, symbolizing a modern representation of the monarchy. The fine details of her profile, along with the surrounding beaded border, demonstrate the high level of craftsmanship that Canadian coins are known for. On the reverse back, the 2009 coin continues the long-standing maple leaf twig design created by G. E. Kruger Gray. This iconic image features two maple leaves attached to a small branch, symbolizing the natural beauty, unity, and identity of Canada. The word Canada is inscribed above the design, while the year 2009 appears below, and the denomination 1 cent is prominently displayed in the center. The maple leaf is one of Canada's most recognizable national symbols, also featured on its national flag, and its use on the coin reflects a sense of continuity and national pride that has been maintained for generations. In terms of composition, the 2009 Canadian penny is made primarily of zinc, approximately 98.4%, with a thin copper plating, around 1.6%, giving it the traditional copper appearance while reducing production costs. The coin weighs about 2.25 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a smooth edge. By this time, the use of zinc-based coins had become standard, replacing earlier bronze compositions due to the rising cost of copper. Despite the internal change in material, the coin retains the classic look and feel that people associate with pennies. The coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, one of the most technologically advanced minting facilities in the world. The 2009 issue had a very large mintage, with hundreds of millions of coins produced for everyday circulation. Because of this, the coin is very common and generally does not carry significant value beyond its face value unless it is in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. However, collectors may still seek high-grade examples or include the coin in complete sets of Canadian 1-cent coins. Historically, the 2009 penny represents a period when the usefulness of the 1-cent coin was rapidly declining. Inflation had significantly reduced its purchasing power, and the cost of producing each coin was higher than its face value. These economic factors led to the eventual decision to discontinue the penny in 2012. As a result, coins like the 2009 issue are part of the final chapter of Canada's 1-cent coin history, making them more meaningful from a historical perspective, even if they are not rare. For collectors and enthusiasts, the 2009 Canadian 1-cent coin offers insight into modern coin production, national symbolism, and economic change. It stands as a reminder of a time when even the smallest denomination played a role in everyday transactions. In circulated condition, the coin may show where on the maple leaves and the Queen's portrait, while uncirculated examples maintain their original shine and sharp details. Many people keep these coins as souvenirs or as part of a broader collection of Canadian currency. Overall, the 2009 Canadian penny is a simple yet historically important coin that reflects the end of an era. It combines the enduring image of Elizabeth II, the national symbol of the maple leaf, and modern minting practices into a single piece of currency. Although its monetary value is minimal today, its historical and collectible significance continues to grow as the years pass, especially for those interested in the legacy of Canada's smallest denomination next top 4. The 2011 Canadian 1-cent coin is one of the final issues of Canada's historic penny series, minted just a year before the denomination was officially discontinued in 2012. This coin holds special historical importance because it represents the closing stage of a currency unit that had been part of everyday Canadian life since the 19th century. On the obverse front, the coin features the portrait of Elizabeth II along with the Latin inscription Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, which translates to Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen. The portrait used on the 2011 coin was created by Dora de Pedery-Hunt and had been in use since 1990. It presents a mature and realistic image of the Queen without a crown, reflecting a modern and dignified portrayal. The fine details of her profile, including the hair and facial features, are surrounded by a ring of small beads along the rim, adding both visual appeal and structural durability. On the reverse back, the coin displays the classic maple leaf twig design by G. E. Kruger Gray, which has been a defining symbol of Canadian 1-cent coins for generations. The design features two maple leaves attached to a small branch, carefully engraved to show natural detail and texture. Above the leaves is the word Canada, while the year 2011 appears below and the denomination 1 cent is prominently placed in the center. The maple leaf is a powerful national symbol of Canada, representing unity, nature, and national pride. Its continued use on the coin reflects the importance of tradition and identity in Canadian currency design. In terms of composition, the 2011 Canadian penny is made primarily of zinc, approximately 98.4%, with a thin copper plating, around 1.6%, giving it the familiar copper color while keeping production costs lower. The coin weighs about 2.25 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, with a smooth, plain edge. This composition had been standard for Canadian pennies since the late 1990s, replacing earlier bronze versions due to rising metal costs. Despite the internal change in materials, the outward appearance remained consistent, preserving the classic look of the penny. The coin was produced by the Royal Canadian Mint, a world-renowned institution known for its advanced minting technology and high-quality craftsmanship. The 2011 penny had a very high mintage, with hundreds of millions of coins struck for circulation. Because of this, the coin is still quite common today and generally holds little value above its face value unless it is in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. However, due to its position as one of the last circulating pennies, it has gained additional interest among collectors and enthusiasts. From a historical and economic perspective, the 2011 Canadian 1 cent coin represents the near end of the penny's role in everyday transactions. By this time, inflation had significantly reduced the purchasing power of 1 cent, and the cost of producing the coin exceeded its value. These factors led to the decision to eliminate the penny from circulation in 2012. As a result, the 2011 issue is part of the final circulating series, making it more meaningful as a historical artifact even though it is not rare. For collectors, the 2011 Canadian penny is an important piece in completing a full set of modern Canadian cents. It represents continuity in design, featuring the long-used portrait of Elizabeth II and the iconic maple leaf reverse. In circulated condition, the coin may show signs of wear, such as smoothing of the leaf details or the Queen's portrait, while uncirculated examples retain their original luster and sharpness. Many collectors and members of the public keep these coins as souvenirs, especially because they are among the last pennies ever used in daily life in Canada. Overall, the 2011 Canadian 1 cent coin is a simple yet historically rich piece of currency. It combines national symbolism, royal imagery, and modern minting techniques into a coin that marks the end of an era. Although its monetary value is minimal, its historical and collectible significance continues to grow, making it a meaningful addition to any coin collection and a reminder of a time when even the smallest denomination played a role in everyday commerce.